So it's been a little while since I've made a video update, but a few things have changed over the past few weeks, maybe the past couple months. Up until maybe 2 months ago, I have been using MyFitnessPal to track my food and my exercise throughout the dieting and other stuff I've been doing for my fitness, and that's been going on for the last couple of years now. And now I've stopped using my Fitness Pal, and it's not because it's not a good tool. It's actually one of the best tools I've had so far. It's more that I have very little control over what I eat. Um, my wife makes my dinner and my lunch. I have control over my snacks and my breakfast. Um, it's just I don't have time to do dinner or lunch for myself. I mean, I guess I could, but she's kind enough to make it for me, and it makes things a lot easier because I'm busy working from the time I wake up until the time I go to bed, pretty much. If I took the time to cook, I'd have no time with the kids when I get home, which I spend my dinner time hanging out with my son uh, and my daughter while we play games and stuff and play with toys and things like that while I eat dinner. Sometimes, well, now we got a new dinner table this week, so I guess we'll eat dinner and then play a little bit or whatever. But basically, my time to spend time with them is then and on the weekends. So other than that, I'm busy the entire week, and so if I took the time to cook my own food, I'd have less time for stuff like that. Also, if I woke up early to make my own lunch, it would probably wake everyone else up in the house. So having her make it while I'm at work works out a lot better. That makes it so that if I'm tracking on my fitness pal, essentially what I'm doing is instead of controlling what I'm eating and by being conscious about it and writing it down, which is what I would normally have been doing when I wasn't working this much, I end up just writing down what kind of food I received from my wife and what kind of breakfast I had and what kind of snacks I had. And although the breakfast and snacks tracking it might help me stay more conscious, um, essentially what it's doing is giving me I am burning this many calories from exercise. I'm eating this much food. Why are my results good or why are my results bad? It's only giving me one more data set point to kind of understand what I'm looking at. And since I've been tracking for a couple of years now, I have a pretty good idea of how much I'm burning with exercise every day. The problem is whether those results are accurate. Uh, let's see. Let's say I'm exercising the entire day at work, throwing heavy pieces of wood off of trucks, throwing pieces of plastic off of the ground, um, just carrying around sheets of metal and stuff like that. Uh, it's very hard to get an accurate estimate of how many calories I'm burning from that. Although I can get like a range, um, essentially all I'm getting is I put my fitness pal, it says I should be burning 4,000 calories based on the estimates I gave it, and then I'm supposedly, let's say I'm eating 4,000 calories that day. Then I should still have metabolic um, weight loss based on my base metabolism, uh, metabolizing food, other stuff like that. The problem is there are a lot of times when my weight stays exactly the same for months on end, uh, even though it shows that I'm in a severe deficit. on MyFitnessPal. So there I end up in a situation where, according to the food that I put in, based on my estimations, and according to the exercise that I put in based on my estimations, I end up with a vast difference uh, in what's going on the page, in the app, and what's actually happening in reality. And it was a lot easier to get accurate estimations if let's say I'm walking for an hour, and walking at a regular pace, I should be burning a specific number of calories. It's one specific exercise that I do continuously at a certain pace. The estimations for that are very accurate, or at least pretty good. And so if I write down that I walk for an hour, it should give a pretty good answer. If I eat a very specific thing, like for example chicken breast, and I weigh it and I get all of the numbers right for that, then I should have a very specific amount of calories that I can test for that. But things like if I'm looking at my lunchbox and I say, okay, so there's some chicken in here, I'm guessing it's probably about 200 grams. It might be a high in fat chicken, let's choose one of those. And then okay, it looks like there's probably about 200, maybe 300 grams of rice. I put in 250, just in case. Just tally up all the things in my lunchbox. I might get a fairly good estimation of how much food I'm getting, but it's not going to be perfect. But let's say I'm working, yeah, all the stuff I was talking about what I do at work. Um, let's say I try to tally that up. I'm not doing a specific exercise like walking. If I'm doing separating plastic on the ground, there's no exercise in MyFitnessPal called separating plastic. I could choose something like carpentry or moving household items or something like that. And that's what I usually do when I'm trying to track that with MyFitnessPal. The problem is moving household items and carpentry I don't know actually how different they would be in reality, but they're different in MyFitnessPal. I think carpentry was lower, even though in reality I think carpentry as a job might burn more calories than moving household items. That's just my guess. What kind of household items are we talking about? I don't know. But MyFitnessPal's guess on what that does ends up with burning several thousand calories a day at my job, upwards of like 4,000, like I was saying earlier. Um, carpentry could be like 2,000 or something, and those both are not the job that I'm doing. So I don't know which one is closer to what I'm actually doing. There's not really any way for me to get an accurate guess unless I was wearing some sort of equipment that would allow me to um, check my caloric burn, like some sort of gas. I forget what those things are called, but oxygen mask or something like that. Um, and that kind of gear for just checking calories would be pretty expensive, since I'm not some sort of calorie scientist or anything like that. I don't really see any reason why I should be um, putting in all the effort on finding exact estimations. Obviously, I want to lose weight, so knowing those things would be nice, but it doesn't seem 100% necessary, especially since that would just give me more data to work with. Now, since I'm very serious about my goals, what I can do now, which I've changed in the past week, 2 weeks, is I've decided, since I am not getting accurate results with MyFitnessPal, um, and I'm trying to lose some weight, uh, I've decided to cut my breakfast, make it much smaller, and I've decided not to take any snacks, um, and I've decided not to drink any things like I was drinking Monster energy drinks and stuff to help me work, and sometimes having other things like beer and soda. Those things, based on how many calories I was burning from work, based on the MyFitnessPal estimates, those things should have been okay to drink. Actually, they are okay, I'm guessing, with how I am if I want to stay the exact same weight. But even though the estimations are I should be in a very large deficit, what ends up happening is I'm staying the same weight, and since I'm staying the same weight, even though the estimates are giving a large deficit, it means that I'm not actually in as much of a deficit as MyFitnessPal was saying, and that's why I've stopped using MyFitnessPal. What with the changes that I made in the last couple of weeks with the no snacks and the smaller breakfast and no energy, no caloric drinks basically. Although I did have a beer on Sunday, I think, maybe Monday, I forget. Yeah, Monday this week because that was the day off. We went to a sushi restaurant and I had a beer with the family. But other than that, actually no, I had two beers in the weekend. Yeah, okay. Anyway, um, other than that, during the week I have just been drinking black coffee. Um, since I haven't been tracking my food, it's basically I eat the lunch that my wife gives me, and I eat the dinner that my wife gives me. I went from taking something like, well, depending on the day, I would take 100 grams on short days of oatmeal, 200 grams on days when I needed a bit more energy, and 300 grams on days when I had overtime before, or when I was trying to do a reload on carbs. And that would give me a lot of energy for working. Now, in the last week or so, for the first part of the week, I had uh, maybe 50 or 60 grams of oatmeal for breakfast with protein supplementation. So, protein and oatmeal for breakfast. And for the last couple days, because I felt like changing things up a little bit, I got some fruit granola from the store. I don't usually have fruit granola. I usually have it when I'm running out of oatmeal. So right now I am running out of oatmeal, and I need to go buy some or ask my wife to go buy some. Uh, but anyway, since I haven't had time to go buy some, uh, and we have one bag left, and I'm giving my daughter oatmeal for breakfast. I'm using that bag for my daughter's breakfast for now, and I'm eating granola. I got one bag of granola, which is 600 grams, um, and that would normally last me about 3 days, or maybe something like that, if I was eating at 200 grams. Now I ate 20 grams of granola for the last 3 or 4 days. It's a very small amount. It doesn't feel filling at all, but and I get pretty hungry throughout the morning. But being hungry is a sign that I should be in a caloric deficit, which means at least before lunch, I have some chance of losing some body fat. Um, and between when I get up at 4 in the morning and lunch, if I'm hungry the whole time, I should be able to lose some weight. And actually, for the first time in about maybe 6 months, I've actually seen the scale go down, which is pretty cool. The scale was pretty much changing between the weekend and the weekdays, depending on how much salt I was having, how many carbs I was having. It was fluctuating between 93 and 98 kilograms, which is like a fluctuation of about 10 pounds from the weekend to the middle of the week. Because I would have the similar amount of food or maybe more food on the weekend, and then no exercise in comparison to my work. There might be a little bit of exercise, like maybe I'd go biking somewhere with my son or walking or something, but it wouldn't be anything compared to my work. And so on the weekend my weight would go up, and then it would go down again. I might see a similar kind of fluctuation now, but my weight scale was between 94, yeah, 93 or 94. No, it was about 94, yeah. 94 to 98. So that's, yeah, about 10 pounds. And now my weight has gone down to 93 since then. And it's stayed at around 93 for last week. I'm hoping to see it go down more. And the main reason why I decided to make this change, at least temporarily, is to see my weight go down a little bit, is in the next couple months I have a bit of time while still be mostly working on my feet. After that, I will be getting certification for heavy machinery, and I will have some time of the day on some days and more of the time of the day on other days. Well, I will be inside an excavator or a front loader or some other machinery and unable to exercise as much. Depending on the day, that might be a lot more than other days, and that will mean that I'll have less chance of exercising throughout the week after that point. And so right now I feel like it's kind of my last chance in a while to have a large control over how much I move every day, and how that means that it's a good chance for me to work on my fat loss goals before that happens. Right now I'm on my feet about, well, if we don't count breaks at work, it's about 7.5 hours at work, and then there's waking up, getting ready for bed, all the other exercise. You probably add up maybe half an hour to an hour more, including the biking to work and everything. Maybe I'm on regular days when I don't have overtime, or I don't get up early, it would be about 7.5 to 9 hours of exercise. Then on days when I get up early, which are 2 days of the week now, and days when I have overtime, which are 2 other days of the week now, it goes up to 9.5 hours on my feet at work. So it would be between 9.5 to 11 hours of exercise every day. That gives me, let's see, I don't know how many calories that will be. It could be, if it's 200 calories per moving hour. That's on, since there's 4 days a week when I'm moving that much, and one day when I'm moving less. Let's average it out to about 9 hours of movement a day. That would be 1,800 calories minimum, and maybe if it was a lot of calories per hour, let's say instead of 200, it's more like 600 or something. It could be up to 5,400 calories in a day of exercise. And I don't know, because that's a large range, 1,800 to 5,400. I have no way of accurately estimating which side of the range that would be, because there are times of the day when I'm moving a lot more than other times. I try to move as much as possible, as vigorously as possible throughout the day, but there are times when just moving as much as other times is just not as possible. There are times when a truck comes, it's full of heavy things. I get to pick them up and throw them. That makes me very tired very quickly. The other times when I'm waiting for whoever's in the excavator to spread plastic on the ground, and all I can do is walk around or go help someone else with work. And between the wait and the downtime, that there might be, even though I'm standing, I don't feel as tired as other times. And so sometimes I might even spend the time doing some exercise like push-ups or jump squats while I'm waiting, if there's no one else to help. But that downtime is not very long, but the amount of downtime needs to be considered, as well as there are other things like, let's say I'm on the ground separating plastic. I don't know how many calories that burns. I have to deep squat while I do it, and grab things on the ground and throw them. Sometimes it's heavy stuff, sometimes it's not. I have no idea how much calories it's going to burn, so it's very hard to get an accurate guess on how much I'm burning there. Anyway, some of those exercises make my arms tired enough that I can't really do anything more, and some of those things don't really tire me out quite as much. So I can get some idea. On certain days, I'm probably getting more exercise than other days. Although I'm doing the same job, depends on the workload, how many trucks are coming, how much plastic there is to separate, how often the person in the excavator will spread the plastic for me, things like that. Previously I was climbing up on the mountain of plastic to get plastic for myself, but my boss asked me not to do that because he thought it was dangerous. I can kind of understand why, though I like the idea of climbing up there because it does help the work go faster, and I can get a lot more work done if I'm allowed to do that. It's also, I guess there's some potential danger of hurting myself. It's not very high, but since my boss is responsible for if I get hurt, I would understand why he doesn't want to take the risk. Anyway, because there's variables of how much exercise I'm able to do with that, there are definitely variances in how much exercise I'm actually getting every day, and that makes calculating it very hard. But with these changes, like lowering my the amount of snacks I'm taking every day, I should be seeing some differences in my body composition over time. I should have a lower amount of fat by the end of the 2 months that I have right now, and my body weight should be down by the end of the time. We'll have to see how well I do with that, though, because although I can work as hard as I want to and eat as little as possible, I still eat the lunch that my wife makes for me and still eat the dinner that she makes for me, so it might be too much depending on the day. I might not get as much progress as I was planning on, and there might be days when I do better than I thought it would. So we'll have to see how that goes, but I'm going to keep taking progress. Videos in the morning when I can, and updating like this whenever possible. Right now, before work, I'm working on my book series, preparing illustrations in the break room at my work. I woke up at the same time as my early shift and came to work so that I can work on my book before my job starts. Hopefully I'll make some progress with that. We'll have to see how much I can. Anyway, I hope whoever's interested will try getting a copy of my book. You can find it, Quercus minora. If you search that in Google or on Amazon, you'll find it. It's also on my Facebook profile. Should be in my YouTube links. This is book 1 that I have right now on Amazon. I have book 2 mostly ready, but I need to do the finishing touches on it and get it in a book format before I can publish it. I've got all of the illustrations ready, I've done the writing, I've done most of the editing. I just need to get it formatted, basically, and also proofread a little bit to make sure it's ready for publishing. And that will be up hopefully soon. I don't know when. And yeah, right now I'm working on the illustrations for book 3 here. And when that's all finished, I might start again working on the line art for book 4, 5, and 6, or whatever I decide to call those, for the next continent, which the main character traverses. Just the line art, do that at my work, because I don't know when I'll have time to actually work on writing book 3. I can't access Word at work because I need the internet for that. And so, yeah, I don't know when those books will be ready, but book 1 is available, and so far has pretty good reviews on Amazon. I need more reviews so that it can sell more. So anyone who's interested in helping out, please get a copy and write your review. Give it 5 stars if you want to see that succeed. And yeah, just help me out if you would like to. People are interested in my fitness journey. I'll keep uploading progress for that right here on YouTube. I have an Instagram for that, but I moved over to YouTube essentially because I don't have time to take a picture, get hashtags and everything ready, and post on Instagram every morning. If I do that and YouTube, there's just not enough time available. Not enough mental resources available either. I'm just too tired. I have a lot of work to do with my books and a lot of work to do with my actual work here. I have a giant mountain of plastic, maybe about 50 tons left of plastic to separate. I think because they just dropped 20 more tons last night, let's say it's about 70 tons to separate, and the mountain is not getting smaller very quickly. The only changes I see in the size of the mountain are changes I see when I work hard. And I want to reduce the mountain back down to 0 like I did in April, so I can get some mental clarity in there and feel a little bit less pressured. Anyway, anyone who decided to watch this whole video, thank you for sticking around, and hope to catch you in a new update soon.